Good morning and welcome, or good afternoon if you're watching this from somewhere other than the West Coast, or if you're watching the replay. I hope everybody has had a fantastic weekend. And you know, my camera's a little crooked, but we're just going to go with it. I just noticed that. We are a little crooked, but that is okay. I'm also going to be trying to watch from my laptop so I can see your comments. I don't always get to see the comments very easily from here. For some reason they don't work. I'm sure it's operator error on my part, but just in case, I will watch on my phones. I love the interaction, so please let me know if you're watching the replay. Give me a hashtag replay. Let me know if you're watching live. Say hello as you come in. I do love the interaction. It really does energize me, and it helps to know that putting out these videos is useful to you guys. Also, let me know if you can hear me right now. I'm got a different microphone, trying to make everything a little bit more clear for you guys. So let me know if there is any sound problem. So I hope everybody did something to take care of themselves this weekend. I'm sorry for the beeping. I'm just turning my heater off so it doesn't make too much noise for you guys here in the video. So let me see. I just got a comment in there. Sorry, guys. I was just checking to make sure that there wasn't something I needed to fix in here on the sound. I'm kind of nervous about the sound today. But today we're going to talk about a subject that sometimes is a little bit taboo to speak about. It's something all of us need in society. It's something we all want. But it's also something that when we get it, people tend to kind of look down on it to a certain extent. So we are going to talk about money mindset today, and a lot of the fallacies that come into our mind because of money, right? And for those of you who don't know, a fallacy is like a thought pattern or a belief that is incorrect. When you think about money and all of the things that is said about money out there, all of the sayings, right? Like money doesn't grow on trees. Money reveals who you really are, or what is it? Money changes people, things like that. Those are all fallacies. So think for a second about the different things that you've heard when you think about money. What do you think about rich people? What do you think about, like people who win the lottery, stuff like that, right? We all want to do it, right? We all want to be that person. We all want the money, but we have such negative views of it, right? There's just like so many negative views that we have about money. So I'm going to talk to you guys today about why is that? Why do we have that negative mindset when it comes to money? And why do we buy into it? And what is really ingrained into our brain, right? So when it comes to this subject, you really got to think back to your childhood and the things that you were taught. And really just kind of think back of those things that were really ingrained to your head and just bring them up to the surface and deal with them, right? And we're going to talk a little bit about changing the narrative in your mind when it comes to money. But before that, I want to talk to you guys about why did I choose this subject for today's Mindset Monday. Money basically has such a bad rap, right? I see it in our Facebook groups for childcare leaders. Oh, they're making money off of this, and oh, they're making money. Well, of course we are. We have to make a living too, right? As owners, we have to make a living too. I saw a discussion about the minimum wage increase, and somebody was saying, well, if you get rich off of the backs of your employees, and it's like, and these are like teachers talking they don't have any managerial experience, and some directors too. They don't understand the money behind childcare. So they assume that if we're not paying 15, 20 bucks an hour, that we're just getting rich off the backs of our children. They see our centers, they look at, this is how many kids they have, multiply that by this much a week, and look at how much money they're making. What they don't see is how expensive it is to run a childcare center. They basically think we're just bankrolling that money, right? So that's really one of the big reasons I wanted to bring up money, because that also, I think, comes into our own minds and it messes with our own mindset. And we begin to start feeling guilty for making money or for just even making a living. So many owners, when I first start working with them, they're not making any money at all. Their staff is assuming they are, but they're not. There was a time in my career where I was putting about $30,000 a year into my center just to break even. I was literally just putting that into my center just to break even. And I realized this is crazy. There is nothing wrong with making money off of your childcare center. We all went into business, and every business in the world we go into in order to make a living, right? But for some reason in childcare, it seems like a taboo notion. And a lot of that has to do with money mindset and how we view money, how the people around us view money. And we really need to change that narrative in our head. Money is not a bad thing, right? Money is not a bad thing in and of itself. It's what people choose to do with it. The other thing that we hear all the time is that money changes people. But it really doesn't. You guys know my background is in psychology. Money doesn't change people. It just enhances who you are. You're going to basically become more of the person that you are when you have it. It's not going to change you. You don't have to be afraid of becoming really successful in your childcare companies because it's going to change who you are. No, it's just going to make you who you are. So what I'm going to challenge you to do is take some of those money mindset narratives that are in your head, just like money changes people, money doesn't grow on trees, money is the root of all evil, all of those slogans that we've heard since we were little children. And I want you to really think about how can you change that into something more positive, right? So for example, for me, I tell myself like all the good I can do with the money I make, right? I'm actually trying to create a foundation so that I can help more children have access to quality childcare throughout the country. So making money enables me to create that foundation and to help more children, right? In my center this last year, I invested in creating a new model I partnered with some other people, and we created a new model in order to serve the children that have special needs within my center, right? So that they can be fully integrated and we can have an inclusive center that doesn't put a huge strain on my teachers. So I've taken the money I've made and I've invested in that, and basically creating a program where we have a behavior specialist on site a few days a week, helping train my teachers deal with behavior issues and whatnot, right? So money also enables me to take care of my family. It enables you to live a comfortable lifestyle with your family, right? It enables you to help more people. It enables you, if you're a person of faith like I am, it helps me to give back to my faith, right? To give back to my church and other organizations I believe in that are spreading the gospel. So we need to just stop looking so much at that negativity and that like, ooh, I'm a bad person if I make money. You're not. Money is not going to change you. It's not going to make you something that you aren't. It can just enhance who you already are, right? With intentionality, you can really help yourself to just fulfill the things that you really want to do. It just makes you, right? You don't change. It's just now you're able to do the things that you really want to do. So when you think about money and how people view it, the things that people say also, every time one of those negative thoughts come into your mind, reset it. Because if you don't reset those thoughts and you continue to view money as this negative thing, you're never going to be able to crawl out of that financial hole, both personally and business-wise. So many owners I see are on the verge of bankruptcy all the time. I talk to at least one a week that's on the verge of bankruptcy. They don't know how to run their centers operation-wise, and so they are facing bankruptcy basically. And so with those, a lot of times it's because they just don't know how to manage their money, and they've got this mindset that it's a bad thing and I got to give it all away and it doesn't serve you. And when you really wrap your head around the fact that money in and of itself never hurt anybody, it doesn't do anything. It's an inanimate object. It's what your intentions behind it are, right? And when you really start fixing that relationship you have and the mindset that you have behind money, it really does help you in getting your house in order. Money organization is huge. The biggest thing I probably see, well, number one thing I see bankrupting owners is payroll. payrolls that are out of control, and hours that aren't being managed and watched, and payroll is just out of control, and they really just don't understand the man hours that they're really putting in. Second thing is lack of organization. When we get our money organized and really understand where is it all going, how is it going, even comes down to what timing is it going out, right? What time does it come in your bank? What time does it go out of your bank? You guys, your mind will be blown on how just that little piece just completely can switch how much money you're retaining at the end of the month and how much that can actually help you. I know it doesn't seem major. It seems like a small thing, but it is a huge shift that occurs when you actually really just start organizing that money and getting it into just organized fields, right? That was huge for me, huge when I started to do that finally. It's amazing when you start keeping track and get that organizational system down. So the other thing too is value. We are so, I guess we're just used to going to Walmart and paying for a product, right? We're used to going to Macy's, wherever, it doesn't matter where. You go to Starbucks and you give them your money, they give you a product back, right? But we have a really hard time when it comes to giving money for things that aren't tangible. And so another problem I see in our industry is owners and directors who are not setting their prices where they should because they're so afraid to base their prices on their value. You have to base yourself on where you are valuable. You have to see your value and you have to price as such, right? And you can't be afraid to charge it. In life, we always trade value for value. Money is the one value, right? And the product is another. Normally we have no problem going to JCPenney or Target, purchasing items and giving the cashier money for those items that you purchased, right? But then when it comes to our childcare service, we have a harder problem setting those prices for what we think we should pay, right? Look at like stores like Macy's and Dillard's and Nordstrom's. They have very high ticket items. They get it every time. They don't have a problem getting paid for those items. That's because people see value in these products and they're paying them for the value in these products. So what you need to determine is, what is your value, right? And I've talked a lot this year so far about value because it's so very important. But you've got to look at, are you Walmart or are you Macy's? And you need to price as such, right? For me, as you guys know who've been watching me, my passion in life is to make sure all children, regardless of their socioeconomic background, has access to childcare, right? That doesn't mean that I price myself based on that. That means that I find other ways to bring those children in and get compensated for it. That means that I am creative in how can I help to ensure all children have access to my center. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Sneezes just sneak up on you, don't they? So I really just make sure that there's other means that are available to me, not just the subsidy program, but other things like private donors, whatever we can find. It's also why I'm starting my own foundation, right? Because my passion is to ensure that all children have access to quality care and education. So it's the reason that I'm starting to create the foundation that I'm creating, which will help pay for these children to have access to quality education, right? Children who normally can't afford my program. It doesn't mean I price myself based on that. I'm still pricing myself based on my value. I'm just looking for other ways to fill that gap. So for example, if my prices are $200 a week, I'm still charging $200 a week. I'm just finding other ways to fill the gap between the parent that can afford $100 a week and that other $100, right? So we're just looking for, private donors, grants, anything out there when it comes to filling that gap. But I still charge my rates. I have to. We have to survive too. Our centers have to survive. And a bleeding heart will put you out of business. It absolutely will. You cannot be an owner with a bleeding heart because you will bankrupt yourself and nobody is going to get what you're trying to give to the world if you're in bankruptcy. And I think that's a huge problem for a lot of us. And it was for me for a long time, where I really wanted to make sure that I was giving back, to the world, like this, what I have, my passion for early childhood education, making sure that all children have quality childcare and education. And so for the longest time, I wasn't pricing myself where I belonged, or I was discounting myself so bad. When I first hired my business coach, that was one of the other components that was really, really hurting me. I was giving so many discounts out. I was literally losing, it was like $6,000 to $10,000 a month on just multifamily discount, military discount, you name it. You guys know. I mean, we all give them, right? So all these discounts that we give, like a hardship discount, this and that discount, it adds up to thousands. And my bleeding heart was making me go bankrupt, basically. And I just had a talk with my business coach at the time, my financial advisor, and she told me, I understand that you want to help these people, but if you go bankrupt, what about your 18 employees? What are they going to do? What are they going to do without their job? What about the 150 children enrolled in your center? Where are they going to go? And in my town, there was nowhere else, right? Well, there was, but it wasn't pretty. So that's where I just knew, I really do have to do something about this. I need to price myself based on my value and what I'm giving to the world. And I need to follow through and charge for it. And in those areas where I absolutely can't, then I need to find a way to fill the gap, right? I need to find a way to fill the gap between a parent that can only afford $100 a week, and my prices of $200, because we can't sustain a healthy business, and we can't not give back to the world if we're not charging what we're worth. And again, I talk about vision all the time. So I want you to look at your overall vision. I know without talking to most of you that 90% of you have a vision that is giving, and it's full of love and giving. And you're really just trying to help people, right? You're really just trying to give back to the world. You can't fulfill that vision, and you can't give back, and you can't bless other people in the world if you're going bankrupt. You can't do it. So look at that money mindset that you have and see where those fallacies are. Again, fallacy is a bad it's a wrong thought process. But a lot of times fallacies are something that have been trained into us since we were little children, right? So when you really sit down, get a piece of paper out and write it out. Write out the areas that you really just have these false beliefs about money. Money is anything that's negative, right? Money is bad. Money is the root of all evil. Money turns people into bad people. Write all of that out and come up with a statement that is more positive about money. Instead of money changes people, you're going to write something like, money does not change me. It will not change me. It's going to enhance who I am, which will enable me to spread this to the world, right? And for me, my example is, money is not something that's going to change me. It's going to enhance who I am, and it will help me to make sure that more children have access to high quality childcare, right? So you're going to replace that negative belief with a positive belief. And if you guys have any thoughts on that, please let me know in the comments. Let me know what some of the beliefs that you're going to change. Give me those affirmation statements. Give me the positive statements that you're going to create when you're changing the negative into the positive, right? Just write them in the comments for me so we can just flood with positive comments about money mindset. So that is what I've got for you guys today. That is my challenge to you today. Remember value for value. That is why I charge for my coaching program, right? I have something of value. I know I can help other owners really mainstream their childcare centers and really take control again. And instead of having your center control you, you can take control of your center. So I have that value and I charge that for other people, right? I charge the value I'm providing and I give it to them for a fee. And that's where my coaching program resides. So if you guys have any questions or comments, please let me know. Be sure to check out my podcast, The Childcare Business Coach. And I love to see the interaction, so make sure you interact with me this week. I'm so glad that you guys made it today, and I hope you have a wonderful week, and I hope that you guys can meet with me again next Wednesday, Monday. My husband just texted me saying about a Wednesday, so next Monday for Mindset Monday. And also for my members, I will be on office hours, in about 35 minutes. I'll be on for you guys for my office hours, so you guys can pick my brains. In about 35 minutes, I will be available to you guys on Zoom. So everybody have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye.